What if the most important examination of your life is not about success, status or failure, but about something far more personal? Across cultures and centuries, people who came close to death have returned, describing an extraordinary experience, a complete replay of their lives, where every choice, every relationship, and every act of kindness suddenly carried a deeper meaning. Some say it changed them forever. Others describe it as the most honest and surprisingly hopeful moment they had ever faced. In this video, I'll explore one of the most fascinating and mysterious features of near-death experiences, the life review, and ask what these remarkable accounts might reveal about human nature, compassion, and the hidden purpose of our lives. One striking example comes from George Ritchie, who described such an experience in his book Return from Tomorrow. While undergoing basic military training in Texas, Ritchie was admitted to hospital. He was suffering from double lobar pneumonia. He was declared dead. But 9 minutes later he revived, and later recounted what he believed was an encounter with eternity. I'll speak here in George Ritchie's own voice. I became aware of a light entering the hospital room, but almost immediately I realized this was no ordinary light. It was a presence, being composed entirely of light. Extraordinary as the brightness was, something else overwhelmed me even more completely, an absolute and unconditional love. It surpassed anything I had ever known or imagined, and yet this love seemed to know me entirely. Every hidden part of me lay open before it. My bitterness towards my stepmother, my violent temper, the selfishness and vanity I had carried since childhood, even thoughts I had never spoken out aloud. Nothing was concealed. And still, I felt loved completely. At the very moment this radiant presence filled the room, scenes from my entire life appeared before me. Not one after another, as memories usually come, but all at once, as though every moment existed together in a single eternal present. I saw myself as a child, turning away when my stepmother bent to kiss me good night. I heard again the thought that formed silently inside me. I will not love this woman. My mother died and left me. If I love this woman, she'll leave me too. I saw myself standing at the dining room window as my father returned home with my baby brother, Henry. Before I had even met him, I had already decided to resent him. Scene after scene unfolded, hundreds, perhaps thousands. I saw the day I came home to find my carefully built model airplane smashed on the pavement. I watched how anger towards my younger brother hardened slowly into distance from my entire family. I saw the pride I carried for years, the coldness, the stubbornness, the self-protective habits that had shaped my life. Every detail was present, moments of kindness and moments of pettiness, ordinary routines and hidden failures alike. And then came a question. What have you done with your life? What struck me most was that this was not a question about achievement or success. It was not about reputation or status or outward accomplishment. It was about value. What had I actually done with the life entrusted to me? Looking at myself honestly, I saw no great wickedness, perhaps, but no greatness either. Mostly I saw self-interest, a life focused upon myself. I remembered, too, the quiet pride I had carried for years. I had imagined myself morally superior to others, simply because I attended church faithfully and possessed all the outward signs of respectability. Yet, alongside this complete unveiling, there was no sense of accusation. Indeed, I realized something profoundly unsettling. It was I who judged my life so harshly. No condemnation came from the presence surrounding me. The light revealed. It did not punish. And gradually I understood that all my striving for success, recognition and achievement had missed the point entirely. The question was about love. How much love had I given? Had I loved others with anything approaching the completeness and generosity with which I myself was being loved? Others who report near-death experiences often describe remarkably similar features, you know. I'm back in my own voice now, by the way. Now, a review of life occurring outside ordinary time, where decades seem to pass instantaneously, where memories recalled with extraordinary vividness, means a sense not merely of observing past events, but emotionally reliving them. An awareness of the effects their actions had on others, both painful and compassionate, a deepened sense of understanding, moral insight and compassion. Anita Moorjani, who reported a near-death experience in 2006 while seriously ill with advanced lymphoma, she described a similarly non-punitive process. During her experience, she became aware of scenes and emotional patterns from throughout her life. Yet she emphasized that the experience carried no sense of judgment or condemnation. Instead, it brought an expanded understanding, a profound clarity accompanied by compassion. Her account later became widely known through her book, Dying to Be Me. Long before the modern language of near-death experiences emerged, there was an 18th century scientist and mystic named Emanuel Swedenborg. He described something curiously similar. He claimed to live in a kind of dual awareness, conscious both of the physical world and of what he called the spiritual world, a usually hidden realm which we unconsciously inhabit in this life and after bodily death. In his books, he describes the state after death not as a condemnation by God, but as a gradual unveiling of one's true inner character. According to Swedenborg, people initially awaken after death in surroundings that feel surprisingly familiar. They continue at first in recognizably human ways of living and relating, but gradually a deeper process begins. Each person is gently led from their outward self, the persona shown to the world, towards their inner self, their genuine motives and intentions. This process is guided not by blame, by what Swedenborg describes as divine wisdom and compassion. People are shown often in vivid ways the nature of their own life, how their actions and what they want truly aligns with what is good or dark, ethical or unethical, caring or malicious. So he writes that individuals come to see themselves realistically and clearly. Their inner lives are revealed, not to shame them, but to help them understand what they have really loved and valued. For those whose deepest desire is goodness and compassion and truth, they are drawn towards communities shaped by those same qualities. Those individuals centered chiefly upon themselves drift away from the sphere of kindness and care, in line with their own self-centered desires. In Swedenborg's vision, as in many contemporary near-death accounts, the emphasis is on a clear and searching encounter with oneself. Despite the long history of religious imagery surrounding judgment and condemnation, many of these near-death experiences point in a rather different direction. They describe not a courtroom, but an awakening, not humiliation, but understanding, not condemnation imposed from outside, but an honest encounter with the truth of one's own life, illuminated above all by the presence of loving kindness. Now, I have explored the phenomenon of the life review, a commonly reported feature of near-death experiences, in which individuals relive moments from their lives with extraordinary clarity and emotional depth. I've talked about George Ritchie's account, which described encountering a radiant being of unconditional love, who revealed every aspect of George's life, leading him to realize that the true measure of life was not achievement, but love and compassion. Similar experiences were reported by Anita Moorjani, and the writings of Emanuel Swedenborg suggest that such reviews are about self-awareness, not punishment. They're about moral insight and spiritual awakening. Together, these accounts show why we need not fear death. They show that the life review is not a moment of divine condemnation, but as an illuminating encounter with one's true inner life. Thanks for listening to me, and if you've been interested, why not give me a like and offer a comment? It rather does encourage YouTube to show this video to a wider audience. And if you're interested in another of my videos about the afterlife, the one called Will I Still Be Me in an Afterlife, you can click the link right now.